Hey guys, welcome to Frank's Out. This is your host Frank the Vamp, and tonight doing something very special. We're reviewing The Killing Joke, Batman: The Killing Joke. And if you guys know anything about comic book and superheroes and stuff, Batman: The Killing Joke is one of the most famous graphic novels. Um, it basically tells a very, very dark story about the Joker and Batman and their relationship and interaction. Being one of the most successful, comic books when this movie came out, I was very excited. Um, I'm actually a big fan of Batman, and I'm one of the few people that actually love the Batman versus Superman movie. Uh, Sorry, but DC animation, ever since back of the Batman cartoons with Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, I love them. And now that they're coming back, I mean, they're reprising their roles. With Kevin Conroy as Batman and Mark Hamill. I had to be very excited about it. Let me tell you about the good and the bad. Um, First of all, the plot. I'm gonna, in order to do this story some justice, I'm gonna keep talking to a certain point, and then I'll mark spoilers and I'll put it on the description to what point you can watch if you want to see the movie and not be spoiled. So here we go. So I will let you know when the spoilers begin, but not now. Right now, I'm just gonna talk general plot. Um, so the Joker escapes. Always happens, right? Somebody really had to do something about keeping that old loony guy in there because he causes a lot of problems. So the Batman goes out and tries to get him, but then he does something very, very, very bad to the to Commissioner Gordon's daughter, and Batman, goes out to capture him and revenge, and and the what else I can tell you about the story? Also, the Joker has also another agenda. He wants to perturb mentally. He wants to drive Commissioner Gordon's insane. Out of what has transpired with the daughter, and that's as much as the story I can tell you without spoiling it. Um, Now, let me tell you the things that I didn't like first, and then I'll tell you what I like. The it's not that I didn't like it, but the thing about it is that if you actually read the graphic novel, it jumps into the Joker story right away. But this one, because it's a movie and they have to lengthen in time, and they wanted to give a little bit of background to Batgirl here. So Batgirl has a prologue, so it's gonna be, this is not a, well, I don't know, it's a big spoiler or not, but it's a minor one, so you can live with it. The Joker story doesn't really begin until 20 to 30 minutes into the movie. So that bothered a lot of people. It didn't bother me intensely, except that I see why they did it, but it could have used a better first villain first, because Batman goes after a first villain. It's like two stories connect, but it doesn't. They don't do fluidly, and it kind of like falls a little bit flat. I didn't like that. I also didn't like some of the reactions that were done towards the end. and I'll say that. But besides, those little things. Oh, well, one more thing that may be a little, it may take a less. Animation's a little bit too simple. I was a big fan of the Batman, animated series back in the 80s and that or 90s. I can't remember now, but it was back when I was a kid, and it was. I love it, and it was very dark, very noir, and it wasn't it wasn't up to par. How can I say? It was very simple. It wasn't terrible, but if you're gonna make the Killing Joke, which is beautifully illustrated, by the way, you might as well put some more effort into it. Now, things that I like, besides what the spoiler is that we get to see the Joker's origin story, which is not very well known. Even in the movies, in the Dark Knight, right? We basically know that he had a bad childhood, and we know that now back in the Jack Nicholson movie with Michael Keaton. Then we see that he fell into the vat of acid that made him into, but we don't know what happened before that, and this kind of tells us what happened, and it's really rather very interesting. Another thing that I really like is the fact that, well, besides the wonderful voice acting of the two, for hero and our villain, besides that, I mean, it brought me back to my childhood once again. And I really like the fact that there's an ambiguous ending, and that and I will tell you what that is after I go, but after I go into spoilers. But so to tell you what you've been waiting for, which is what do I think about this film. Definitely, I will say it's a B. Could have been, so that means I really like the film, really well done, but could have used better animation, like I said, and the prologue idea did lessen it a little bit in. And I think that they could have used a more interesting bad guy, in that on its own, thing that drags the movie down. And the too simple animation just had to step it up. But it's really close with a couple of more, tweaks. Could have been an A movie, but as it stands, really enjoy the Killing Joke. Really recommend it, especially if you're a comic book fan, especially if you're a superhero fan. Okay, now at 8 minutes and 40 seconds, I'm going to spoiler. So take care, guys. See you in the spoiler section. Okay, if you're here with me right now, that means you wanna know what happened. You want the spoiler sections. Let me tell you, some people did what they didn't like. Um, Batgirl. It's also the commissioner's daughter, right? And the original. I like the fact that they're trying to give her a backstory, and the romance between Batman and Batgirl, and they end up having sex. Um, Consenting adults, come on. You know what year we are now. Some people are bothered by that. It doesn't bother me. Um, their relationships don't being very weird, and you can see why. I mean, they're Batman. It's a person that has a lot of pain in his heart because of all the stuff that he's gone through, and relationships are not the best for him. And yeah, so they go through that. The only bad thing is that it's. I felt that shouldn't make him, even though it may not have translated well from from the comic book pages to the screen is the fact that he should have been furious. He should have lost control. I would have liked to see that and just beat up the Joker to a bloody pulp. It would have been cool, but it didn't happen. Of course, that's not how it goes. But personally, a little bit would have liked it. I mean, might have pumped it up, higher than the B, because I felt that the very end. I mean, okay, now the other spoiler is that it's they really went up on the hatred level of what the Joker does to Batgirl. He shoots her in the stomach, and the bullet goes right and destroys her spine, and she can't walk anymore. And it is implied that she may have been either raped or sexually abused in some ways by the Joker. And it's and basically, the goal of the Joker is to drive the Commissioner Gordon insane, and possibly to have Batman kill him. The other, big spoiler here in the it's the fact that at the end in the comic books is ambiguous, and this one kind of want to remain like that, but it's it's not as clear here. But I do like the fact that at the end, after all this terrible one, and Batman finally gets to capture the Joker. The Joker tells the Killing Joke, the final joke, right? And it's a rather funny joke in the punchline, and then Batman starts laughing, and then starts raining, screen fades to black. In the comics, you're supposed to either think that because Commissioner Gordon wants him done by the book, he didn't go crazy, so he wants Batman to catch him. But at the same time, it's also implied that Batman just had enough, and after doing this to Batgirl, he just snapped his neck and killed in the Joker, right? That's up to the reader to decide, and it's down to the viewer, which I really like. But it's not as clear. Would have liked the fact that it would have been a little bit more implied, because I felt that Batman wouldn't react that way. By the way that they were doing, they kind of got a little bit too. I'm just nitpicking here, but I would have liked a little bit more emotion out of Batman, because he's just so stiff, right? And yeah, I mean, that's I guess I went a little bit long on this video, but that's my opinion. Once again, to recap, it's a good solid movie. It's a B, especially if you like the comic. You may be bothered by the prologue enough that you may say, no, this is a C, this is a worse movie, this is a, or you didn't like the animation. Completely understand. Or you may blow it and say it's an A because it's a faithful adaptation to the comic. And if you ignore the prologue, or you think that it was a good idea, I mean, place your thoughts in the comment section. We'd really love to hear it. I want to thank you, and just get ready for next review. Subscribe. See you next time.